Hey guys, just a word on sun fading. I've just realised that I should have done this before I started. A lot of the time you'll get stains on your ponies that no matter how much you scrub them, they're not going to come off. So there's always a lot of talk about sun fading. How do you do that? Well, first of all, they always say cover up their symbols, cover up their hair. So right now I'm working on covering up the symbols on these ones. I'm using this tempera paint because it is water-based, which means it will wash off. So what you need to do is cover the eyes. I don't usually worry about the blush too much. Cover the eyes, cover the symbols, anything that's painted. I've got my work cut out here because Sweetberry is covered in symbols. As in, I've done one layer of paint on the berries at least, and I started on the green vines, so I'll probably need 2 coats of paint. Then I will cover up her eyes and her symbols. After that we'll be covering her hair, so I'll be back when I cover her hair. Okay, so first we painted our ponies' symbols over with the paint. This is water-based, it will wash off. Make sure you use water-based paint, or it's not going to wash off and you're going to wreck your pony. So this took about 3 layers. You can still faintly see the symbols, but I'm comfortable with how covered this is. This is just to protect the paint from the sun or the UV light. I prefer to use sun because I live in Australia, lots of sun. Because think about it, if the sun can fade the plastic, it can fade the paint. So tail out. That wasn't when I started, but I took that out because you don't need the tail to be in. So if you can get the tail out, take the tail out. Then you should only have a mane that is a problem. Also got this little baby as well. You need to protect the hair from the sun. The sun will fade your hair, and it will. You can't fix that once you've faded it. So what you need is aluminium foil, washi tape, or painter's tape. A lot of people use painter's tape. I use washi tape because I have it. So what you need to do is you need to cover your pony's hair. So get yourself a piece of aluminium foil. Get your pony. I find it's easier if you sort of wrap the hair, like wind the hair around itself, so it's sort of like that, like a little tube. And then you basically just wrap the hair in the foil. Now the tricky thing about this is you've got to get the foil as close to the pony's body as you can. So this just takes practice, and I mean it's easy to do it again if you didn't get it quite right. So just sort of wrap the hair up in the foil as best you can. I find it's easier if you do it in sort of 2 parts. This bit for the most of the hair, just sort of wrap it up there. You can put some tape around that if you're worried about it coming off. Which I probably should wrap a piece around that just to keep it in place. Find the end of my tape. I actually really like these washi tapes because you can get these little tiny thin ones. But because I do too many hobbies, I've got all sorts of stuff around. Now this is the problem here. It's very hard to get a seal along here. This is when you just sort of have to fold it along as close as you can to the hairline. And this is where you use heaps of tape. Thicker tape might be helpful here. Basically any tape that's not super sticky is going to be okay. And then this is sort of hard to show you. You've got the foil here as close up to the hair as you can get it. Just stick it on. I put as little tape onto the body as I can. hold it in place, and then you just go around all the edges, shape them as best you can to the edge of the pony's body and the hair. That. And then you keep taping it up. And of course, the better the job you do here, the better you're going to protect the hair. There probably still will be a tiny bit showing, but yeah, you just get as much as you can, because it is a little bit tricky to do. So I'll come back when I've got it all wrapped. Okay, so after tested patience, we have our pony's hairs wrapped up. There's heaps of tape. See, we've got a little tiny bit peeking out there, but we should be okay. This is actually my best one I've ever done. This is a perfume puff pony, so yeah, they have heaps of hair. I'd have to retape her. She's mostly done though. I accidentally got a head body mismatch because I was fading her head a bit more and didn't put her body in, so that can happen. So now that you've got them all protected, and please, if someone knows a better way to do this, tell me, because I'm not a pony expert. I'm just a person, and everything I know I learnt from online. I've heard people worried about inks coming out of washi tapes. I just don't use really crazy colours, like, you know, I wouldn't use a neon coloured tape. Also, the darker the tape is, the better it is going to be at blocking any sunlight, because at the very bottom here, some places I've just put tape over the hair on the little tiny bit peeking out that I'm not going to get foil over, because this is going to wash out. It's not going to make, you know, the hair sticky. I mean, I wouldn't put it over their whole hair, unless that's something you can do. I've never done it that way. I've only ever done it with foil. I much prefer sunfading ponies that I have to rehair, because that way you can just take the hair out and then you don't have to worry about fading it. So the next thing that you do after this is the cream developer, and I will make a separate video for that. Okay, so now it's time for part 3 of sunfading your pony, or preparing to sunfade your pony. It's the last step before you actually get to the sun. So your pony's got her symbols protected. She has her hair protected. I've got the 2 ponies here right now. Then you need cream developer. Now, this is the brand that I use, but this is what they're talking about. This is the stuff that goes on your hair. 40% or lower. Most people tend to use 40%. Some people use 20% if you're worried. Do not use zit cream. That will damage your pony. It fades the vinyl all the way down. So if you have like a blue pony, she's going to end up with a white spot on her, and it is not going to go away. You can't wash it off once you've put it on, and it will actually leach onto other ponies in your collection if the ponies touch. So do not use it on My Little Ponies. Apparently it is safe to use on some dolls, according to things I have read. I'm not a doll collector, I'm not a doll restorer, so I would not know about dolls, I only know about ponies. So this is a cream developer 40%. So when they tell you that you need to peroxide, this is what they're talking about, this stuff. Okay, so I'm shaking up to make sure it's good and mixed. I don't use this for anything else. I don't put it on my hair. I only put it on ponies. So what you need to do is, I like to use a cotton swab, or you can use a paintbrush. Don't freak out and be like, oh, don't ruin your favourite paintbrush. I get these paintbrushes really, really cheap from cheap shops. I think this set cost me $5 tops, because I bought it from Silly's Ollie's. Nothing there is more than $5. So yeah, you can get paintbrushes really cheap, so don't use like really expensive, high quality paintbrushes. Now I might actually use the brush because this is a bit further down in than what I'm used to. So what you do is you get yourself some developer on your brush. It's not really watery, but it's quite watery. And then you find the parts that you want to sunfade. Now on this pony, I don't know what it is with Quackers ponies, but nearly everyone I see has this brown discoloring around their neck. And I don't know if it's mold or if it's rust. I don't know how it could be rust from, like, it's not from a tail because it's not deep down. So you basically just slather this on to wherever you need to fade. Now I've realized that I've prepped her head and I might not need to do her head, but just, yeah, just slather that on. Don't worry about it. You know, obviously you're not trying to put it on symbols or anything. Just, now she's mostly stained like in her neck plug, so you're not going to really see it in here, but I'll fade there anyway. The big one that you can see from the outside is she's got this little spot on her neck. And like I said, I don't know what it is about Quackers. Every baby Quackers I have ever seen, and I've seen a few, all have this discoloring on their neck plugs. So I don't know what that's about. Obviously you don't want to get this on hair. You don't want to get it on paint. I mean, it is bleach. That is what it is supposed to do. It is supposed to bleach. So you just put that wherever you've got the markings that you want to get rid of. Now with this pony, I don't know where this has come from, but this is actually quite common for my childhood ponies. This one isn't one of mine, but we would draw lipstick on our ponies. And for some reason in my house, this was a big one, we would colour the insides of their ears instead of eyeshadow. So we usually did this with a pencil and that washes off. I don't know what it was done with on this pony because I bought her. So we just slather that on there, cover it really well. You know, ears. I'm assuming that this was done with some sort of felt tip sort of marker. She's got some on her face as well. And then she's got some really close to her symbols, which is kind of nerve-wracking because although the paint's going to protect her, you don't really want to, you know, put it on there. She's not, she doesn't want to balance. There we go. And so then on the body, it's on her legs. Again, we're near her symbol, but that's okay. You just paint it on. I don't really think you can put too much of this stuff on. I've never had a big issue with it. I mean, I haven't been sunfading ponies for forever, but I've never hurt a pony doing this. So, see, now a little bit of that went on the paint, and hopefully it'll be okay. I've not done a pony where I've had to put the bleach really close to the paint before. So this will be a little bit of an experiment for myself. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is it will fade her a little bit there, and then I'll just need to get a better one. But that's okay. She's got some marks on her back leg here. It's kind of hard to see what you're doing and paint at the same time. Now this girl has purple on the bottom of her feet, and I'm not really going to worry about it. For me, that doesn't really bother me as a collector. I don't mind marks on their feet that can't be seen, like, you know, from your pony just displaying normally. So I'm not really worried about the mark on her foot. I will actually generally put a mark on the foot myself for my own reference later, so I know what pony that I've done something to it, like rehairing or that. Now, the next step is actually where people differ a lot. Some people will now wrap the pony in plastic wrap. That is because the longer that the developer stays wet, the longer it's working while it's wet. I'm the type of person who I don't usually bother with the wetting bit, and then you basically put them in the sun. And this is where my ponies will end up. It doesn't look very sunny, but it is. I will point cat. I've got a cat. Yeah, no, the ponies are not for you. I point the bit that I'm trying to fade the most towards the sun the most, but I will come back during the day and I will turn them because I'm really obsessed that I'm going to fade them unevenly. This is also another bit where I often differ from people. People will come back much more often to me, but I have ADHD, so I have a tendency to put my ponies in the sun and then kind of forget they're there. So they may be there for quite a bit longer than when the peroxide dries. That's something you do need to be careful of. I've had a pony in the windowsill for an entire summer once. It didn't damage her because I was trying to get black permanent marker out of a white pony. It did not work. So that's basically how you sunfade your ponies. If you don't have sunlight, you can use UV lights, UV box. I don't really do the box because I've got sunlight. And yeah, so you just basically come back, reapply the developer cream until the marks have faded to your liking. Patience is the key now, because some colours are a lot harder to fade than others. The purple may be rather difficult to get out. That seems to stain really well, whereas I think that this sort of brownie, I'm not sure if it's mold or rust or what it is. I think that will probably come out easier than the other ones. And yeah, so good luck sunfading your ponies. Like I said, patience is the key. It can take a really long time depending on what they're stained with. This is the cat that needs to keep away from the ponies. You don't like them because they smell funny, right? Hey. Yeah, smell. Smell my hand. See, it doesn't smell good. It's got a little bit of bleach on it, okay? Leave the ponies alone. Just doing a quick sunfading update. It's been approximately 2 weeks. And as you can see here, the purple is fading very nicely off the body. I have reapplied developer cream once because I tend to forget about these things. Lips are not doing so well. I think I need to put the heads on a riser so that they're more in the windowsill, so they get sun on them. Also, our weather's not been great. The little baby's not doing so well. Again, I don't know if she's not getting direct enough sunlight, but I'll stick some more developer cream on there and let the sun do its thing.